What's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Crosby and I am traveling solo through Mexico for the next 3 months, sharing the entire experience, the good, the bad, the ugly, as well as what I'm talking about in today's video, which is the cost of living in various cities throughout Mexico. Sayulita is one of Mexico's more popular beach destinations because it's really easy to fly into. There's a lot of international flights going into Puerto Vallarta and then it's just an hour drive to Sayulita. And it's a really cute little beach village right on the water and it's really easy to walk around, very condensed, super beautiful, vibrant, colorful, great nightlife, a great wellness scene, and lots of vacationers from all over the world, but especially the US and Canada, as well as some other parts of Mexico. If you watched my last video talking through the pros and cons of Sayulita, one of the cons was just how overly touristy it is, and it's quite a small town, so it can feel a little bit overwhelming, and the prices are quite inflated because of how many people are coming from out of the country. And I did hear when I was in Guadalajara from a lot of travelers that had already been to Sayulita telling me it was so expensive and I was gonna spend so much money. So going into it, I was a little bit nervous and already had kind of a budget conscious mindset. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you every single thing that I spent money on in Sayulita. We'll go through each category from food and drink to accommodation, transportation, essential items, entertainment, and shopping. And at the end of the video, I will give you the grand total of how much I spent in 2 weeks. So if you're curious about the cost of living in Sayulita, Mexico, this is the video for you. So we're going to start off with accommodation and Wi-Fi and the cost for that. I stayed at a all-female hostel called My Sister's House, and the reason I stayed here is number one, it seems like a really great place for solo female travelers, a great place to make friends with other like-minded women, and there's also a great yoga scene there. They do 1 to 2 yoga classes up on the terrace every single day, which I absolutely loved and took full advantage. But they also have really fast Wi-Fi. It can be a little bit difficult to find hostels with good Wi-Fi in Sayulita, I've found. So what I actually did was join the Facebook group for digital nomads in Mexico. Highly recommend doing that in different countries that you go to. And I created a post just asking, for feedback on any accommodation in Sayulita that had solid Wi-Fi as well as a good, community. And My Sister's House was recommended multiple times and it has really good reviews. So I booked 14 nights in a 4-person, obviously all female dorm room. It cost just under $25 a night to stay there, and that included all of the Wi-Fi, obviously, kitchen, stuff like that. The only other time I paid to get Wi-Fi was at Tabachina's co-work patio, which is a really great co-work space if you need a quieter place to work, because I will say that is one thing I didn't love about My Sister's House is it's right on the main road and the place where you work is open aired, and yeah, you're right on the main road, so it's super loud. So on the days where I needed to have a bunch of calls, I would go to Tabachina's, and it costs $7.99 US or 150 pesos to use the co-work space all day. So for the entirety of my stay there, 14 days, I spent 6,460 pesos, which comes out to about 349 US dollars. So food and drink is a category that you can really manipulate based on your budget. So obviously, like I said, going into Sayulita, I was nervous that I was gonna be spending a ton of money on food because in places that are really touristy, usually the place that you see the prices super inflated is at restaurants. So I pretty much made all of my breakfast at My Sister's house. Sometimes like on the weekend, if I didn't feel like making food or I wanted to have like a fun brunch or breakfast outing, I would eat out, but I would say majority during the weeks when I was working, I would make breakfast at the hostels, usually like granola and fruit, a ton of mangoes. I literally had one like every single day. And then I would make about like half, I would say like half my lunches at the hostel. And I wasn't super strict about this because there were a couple places that I would go to that had really cheap tacos. So I went to El Pastor Diaz a ton. They have really good vegetarian tacos as well as obviously the pastor tacos. So definitely hit up that spot if you want a good and cheap taco. So I would get 2 vegetarian tacos with cheese for 50 pesos, and I did that multiple times. There was also a fish taco spot literally right outside of My Sister, like I could see it. So if I wanted a fish taco, I would go out and grab that, and I think it was 70 pesos for 2, which was great for fish tacos. And usually when I'm traveling, I use dinner as like a way to explore the town, try out a new restaurant, just get out and about. I honestly didn't end up spending too much on dinners. Some nights would be more expensive than others. I think my most expensive night on dinner was $24 US, and that included appetizer, main course, dessert, and a drink, and a tip, like usually like 10% tip, so not bad at all. And then I also would buy like random snacks here and there at Kiosco or Oxo or something like that, and gelato here and there as well. And then when it came to alcohol, I really didn't drink that much. I think I maybe had like 3 or 4 margaritas in total, only margaritas, throughout my stay in Sayulita. So yeah, that really wasn't a big cost. And cocktail prices vary depending on where you're getting them, but I'd say you can expect to pay anywhere from maybe even 100 pesos if you go at happy hour. They do a lot of 2-for-1 deals, but anywhere from like 100, 120 to 200, depending on like type of restaurant or bar that you're at. So in total, for the 14 days that I was there, I spent 4,409 pesos on food, which comes out to just under $233 US. And that brings us to the shopping section. So with Sayulita and a lot of, you know, beach towns like Puerto Escondido and San Pancho and stuff, the boutiques are so cute. So if you're trying to save money, don't even go in them, because like I wanted everything. So I don't even think I stepped foot in a boutique in Sayulita at all. I did buy a pair of really cute flowy pants because I did really need a pair in San Pancho, and it was like 52 US, so I was like, I'm gonna wear this a lot. I justified it, and it was really my like only big spend of the trip in Sayulita. So I spent money on that, and then like random other stuff at like local pop-up markets. So there was a farmer's market I bought a few random items at, and then there was a pop-up market at the Selena. I got a necklace that for I think $13 US. I'll show you, it's so cute. Okay, well, first of all, wait, I don't actually think you're gonna be able to see it. Maybe I'll show you a photo. But these are the pants I got. They're like blue. This thing like ties in a bow. Yeah, goes with a ton. So love that. It's really good quality. And then this is the necklace. This is the necklace that I got at the market. Let's see if you can really see. It's like amethysts and like emerald stones. The little star. I love it. No regrets. But in total for shopping, also if I keep looking down, it's because laptop. Shopping, I spent 1,435 pesos, which comes out to just under $76. But yeah, in general, the boutiques in San Pancho and Sayulita are not any cheaper than boutiques that you'll find in, you know, the US, obviously depending on like which boutique. But yeah, prices are high, so don't expect to come to Sayulita and buy a bunch of cheap clothes unless you go to like a local market or something like that. Then you'll find some other cheap options. But the boutiques have really good quality stuff, and a lot of them are like locally made and locally sourced, so it makes sense why they're expensive, but just keep that in mind. Okay, and I did buy a few like essentials from the pharmacy and stuff like that. So I did want to note, because the prices were very high actually in the pharmacy for most items. So I bought some toothpaste, tampons, and Band-Aids. And yeah, tampons were almost $7 US for like a normal pack of I think 18. So just kind of expect to be paying those higher prices. They have like every brand that they have in the States and in Canada, I would assume. So you will be able to find everything that you need, which is really nice and convenient. But yeah, the prices are high. So just note that. But yeah, in total over the 2 weeks, I only spent about 246 pesos, which comes out to about $13 US. The next section is entertainment, wellness activities. Most of it was wellness, but I wanted to put it under the entertainment umbrella because it's what I really like to do. I also talked about this a lot in my pros and cons video, but the wellness and yoga scene in Sayulita is amazing. You will find no shortage of things to do if you're into yoga, meditation, sound healing, ecstatic dance. There's a ton of those going on like pretty much every single night and day in Sayulita, which is really great. Like I mentioned before, my sister's house does have yoga classes and like other wellness activities going on every single day, and it is open to the public. So if you wanna, you know, go to some classes, you can definitely do that even if you're not staying there. Men are allowed to join those classes as well. But the classes are usually on a donation basis. So I would would usually pay around 100 pesos, kind of whatever you can give for each class. I took a few yoga classes up there. I also did an ecstatic dance with my friend Kendall, which was really cool, new experience for me. And then I also, the only like non-wellnessy thing that I paid for was there was a kind of like rave party at El Viajero hostel, and that was 150 pesos cover. But yeah, for the entirety of my trip, I spent just under 750 pesos, which comes out to about $39.50. And the last category that I spent just a little bit of money on was transportation. The reason it's such a small section is because Sayulita is so condensed and so easily to walk around by foot. You can pretty much walk from one side of the town to the next, maybe like 20-25 minutes at the very most, unless you're walking to Playa Cadecitos or Playa Malpasos or something like that. But in the town itself, it's super easy to walk around. So I didn't spend a single dollar on transportation in Sayulita itself. The only time that you may is if you rent a motorbike, or the most popular choice for especially vacationers is golf carts. So golf carts are like the main way that people get around the town. So yeah, if you're coming on vacation and you're staying in a little bit outside of Sayulita, then you may rent a golf cart, and that transportation cost obviously will go up. But yeah, you don't really need it if you don't want it. The only time I spent money on transportation is when I went on a day trip to San Pancho. It's about a 15-minute taxi ride away, and I split a taxi with I think 5 or 6 of my friends from the hostel, and it came out to about 70 pesos each for that one-way ride. And then on the way back, my friend Sam and I actually took the bus. We took 2 buses, and in total it was 30 pesos, but it did take a lot longer than a cab, so it just kind of comes down to what you want to do. And then the rest was 55 pesos that I spent on a hour and 15 bus ride to Puerto Vallarta, to the airport, when I flew here to Puerto Escondido where I'm filming this. So yeah, that bus ride is so cheap, and they run like every 30 minutes out of the bus station in Sayulita. So you just show up to the bus station, you buy a ticket, you tell them where you're going. It should be around 55 pesos, and yeah, when the next bus comes, you just get on it with everyone, and you don't have to book in advance or anything. It's super easy. But over the course of my stay, I spent 156 pesos on transportation, which comes out to $8.23. So in total, over my 14-day experience in Sayulita, I spent 13,607 pesos and 20 cents, which comes out to $718.32. I did the math, and this was just over 51 US a day on average. And like any place that you travel to, you really can go up or down depending on your budget. Like I said, I went into it with the mindset of I'm gonna apparently be spending all of this money, so I did make an effort to not eat out a ton, and I really didn't spend any money on transportation. I spent a little more on shopping than usual, but it kind of balanced it out because I was saving money in other categories. But yeah, if you go to Sayulita and you're a full-time budget traveler like me, then you really actually can budget quite well. The hostels and accommodation, yes, they're gonna be more than what you would spend in Guadalajara, for example. So I spent 18 US per night on my dorm, and it was kind of a nicer of a hostel, had more amenities, the co-work space was quiet and all of that. But Guadalajara is just cheaper overall. And now in Puerto Escondido, I would say it's probably a little cheaper here, but not by a ton. So stay tuned for a spending report here in Puerto Escondido, and check out my one from last year as well if you're interested in that. But yeah, I hope that's helpful. My main tip with everything is just to make sure that you have enough cash on hand, because a lot of places in Sayulita only accept cash. Again, I noted this in my pros and cons video, but the ATMs oftentimes can't keep up with the amount of people trying to pull out cash, because there is so many people coming in and out of Sayulita. So if you fly into Puerto Vallarta, get cash out there, or if you're in Sayulita, just try and go on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I found those are good days for the ATMs to be full. But otherwise, that is it for this spending video. I hope it was really helpful and kind of give you a good sense of what you can expect to spend in Sayulita. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. It really helps me out, and make sure to subscribe because, like I said, I'm in Puerto Escondido right now. I actually was here last year for 2 weeks and completely fell in love with it, so I'm gonna be here for 5 weeks. There will be a lot of really fun vlogs coming your way. Good morning from Puerto Escondido. Informational videos, what you can expect to spend, tips on getting around, tips for digital nomads. So let me know in the comments what you're interested in seeing, and I will definitely get on that. So as always, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!